Hello, everyone, and welcome to Varsity Aces Live. I'm sports writer Greg Mattura for NorthJersey.com and The Record. Tonight's topic, the ongoing battle for New Jersey outdoor fall athletic teams to stay healthy, stay safe, and stay on the field in the face of COVID-19. We'll be talking to a couple of guests tonight from a school that's had more starts and stops and restarts than any football program in North Jersey. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce my co-host. We have restraining orders against each other. Please say hello to the venerable Paul Schwartz.
Hello, Mr. Mattura.
How are you, Paul?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to this tonight.
And now let me introduce my guests. They are from Ramsey High School, leading off. First-year coach, former Don Bosco and Hasbrook Heights assistant, and Fairlawn lineman Adam Baeira. Adam, how are you?
Good, guys. How are you?
Okay. And then he was kind enough to bring along two senior captains. First off, we'll show love to the linemen. They don't get enough love. We have senior Connor Vatcher.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi, Connor.
And then next up, fellow senior and co-captain, he's a running back and a linebacker, Will Cheyne.
How you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Good.
All right. Let the cross-examination begin. Adam, we'll start with you. First-year coach, and you walk right into the coronavirus. And again, you've had starts and stops and restarts and stops and restarts. How has the experience been through these last 6 months in your first year as a Ramsey coach?
Well, they've been very interesting, to say the least. But it's been easy. The kids. I shouldn't say easy, but the kids make it easy. They've been great during this whole thing. And I remember when I got the job at the end of February, and I got to meet them. I think I met them once or twice. We had a couple workouts, and bam! All of a sudden, the door's shut, and we're living this crazy world we're in now, and we had a couple bumps in the road and a couple hurdles, and we got shut down a couple times, twice, we're just making the best out of the situation, like everyone is. It's the old cliche: everyone's in the same boat, and it's true. Every coach, every program, every student athlete's in the same boat, and we just got to get through it, together. Everyone's in this together. We're looking for games, and districts are going to have to work with each other, and provide the best for these kids to get the experience of football and playing high school football, because again, it's a short window, and especially for these seniors who dealt with the shutdown of their spring junior year, and now into the fall of their senior year. So hopefully we can make it through, and hopefully there's a vaccine sooner than later. So,
Right.
But that's where we're at.
And guys, Will and Connor, clearly you had lost. I don't know if either of you are spring athletes, but clearly there was a danger that you were going to lose your football season, and then you finally get it and you get shut down. Starting with Connor first, how did you guys approach it when it started and then it stopped? And what did you do to make sure that when it finally came back, it was going to come back and stay back as far as you could keep it from coming back?
We approached it with a lot of hope. We really thought we were going to have a season, so we never really stopped. We always practices. We always had these team practices, always working hard together, just really doing a great job.
And Kyle, from your standpoint, once you went in and out, were you guys able to do anything to make it clear to maybe the younger guys in the program who hadn't put in the time and effort you have during your 3 years or 4 years of high school football, what they had to do to make sure that your team kept going? I'm sorry, I said Kyle, I meant Will. I apologize.
Well, yeah. All the younger kids, they really bought in as well. It wasn't just the seniors, everybody. Everybody was realizing that they love this game as much as the next person. So everybody conditioned, worked out, was able to put the work in that everyone needed to do to come out on the field and right there beat Point Borough that first game and then move on to Teaneck and beat them too. So everyone did their own part.
Adam, what was the emotion that you were going through, the assistants and the players, when for your season opener, both of your first two opponents had to shut down and you couldn't play the games?
I mean, it's been a long time, coming since March. We started and shut down. We finally, again, it's for the kids too. I mean, it's a brand new staff, and then with the addition of that, we have to deal with the these crazy times, and but the kids, they just kept working. We got shut down here, shut down there, but they found a way to get better, and and that's what it's all about. And we finally got on the field. We had our administration's great. I mean, they made it happen. Our parents, and luckily we found a game at Point Pleasant. And we went down there. We drove there. We actually, the 2 games in 5 days. But if it was up to the kids, I think they'd play a game every 3 days. I mean, that's the way it is. Just to get games in, and gone are the days, temporarily of getting ready for 5-6 days to prepare for a team. It's kind of like, we're trying to get as many games in as possible. So, hopefully all districts feel the same way. I know some districts work differently, but as far as we are, we just want to play football games and give these guys, their senior year that they deserve. And hopefully we get through it. So.
Well, when you played that first game and you finally got a chance to open against Point Pleasant Borough and you had that long bus ride, how did you guys prevent yourselves from going out there 197 million miles an hour and getting yourself worn out in the first 10 minutes of the game?
Well, the bus ride kind of calmed everybody down. It was a nice long bus ride. We all sat back, listened to our own music, and then we got to the field. And that's when we got our pads on, put the eye black on. You realize it's starting to get real now. But once warm-ups came, all the dust settled, and we were ready, just in the zone, ready to go out there and win.
And Connor, from your standpoint, you're in the trenches. Was there any concern once you got into play? You've been practicing with your teammates, your friends, where they are, you monitor them well. Now you're going against a bunch of strangers. Was there any concern on your end, or is it just football?
No, it's really just football. I think we got a bunch of tough guys up front, really moving the ball, get in the holes for Will, and get in touchdowns. Just keep it going.
Now, this question is to all three of you, and that is you're talking about the Point Pleasant Borough game, which was played on a Tuesday after the weekend of week 2, and then you came back, and only 5 days later you had to play a third game against Teaneck, a 55-14 win. How did that feel after being shut out in week 1 and then not being able to play on the weekend of week 2 to come back and play on a Tuesday and then on a Saturday on short notice? Will, we'll start with you. How did that feel?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, just not being able to play for those 2 weeks really wasn't fun. So we just want to get out there, play as many games as possible. I mean, we only had a few practices to prepare for each team, but our coaching staff did a hell of a job preparing us, and our players really bought in. So we went out there and we whooped some ass.
Connor, over to you.
It was awesome. If it's up to me, I would want to play 18 games a year, 2 games a week. Just keep bringing it. I loved it.
Adam, so from your standpoint, have you learned, it's your first year of being a head coach, but you've coached for a long time. You've been around the game for a long time. Have you gotten anything out of the first 2 weeks and what Greg just talked about, the short preparation, whatever? Have you got anything that you're going to take with you that might have an impact on how you coach going forward in your career?
Well, I'm definitely going to use Zoom a lot anytime we can't get together. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing, during this crazy time. But you know what? Just taking it day by day. I mean, it's really it's taught us patience, and because again, we were shut down a couple times. I mean, the first time was okay. All right, 2 weeks it was in the summer, and then when we got shut down again, it was kind of like again, it's like, oh my God, we just went through this, and we thought it was the end for us, and then it was last minute. I mean, we got thank God for our administration, especially our athletic director Kevin Sabella, who he works tirelessly trying to get games for us, and he made that happen with some parents. We got that Tuesday night Point Pleasant game, and Then he got the T-net game, and he's just been doing a great job with scheduling, and not to mention he's got the other sports to worry about too. It's a crazy time for athletic directors, and it's Sunday. We had a JV game that was canceled. Glen Rock had to cancel, and an hour later he texted me. He's like, "Hey, I got Dwight Englewood." So he's been great, and everybody, our principal, vice principal, superintendent, they've been really, the best interest of the kids. So
now, who's this week?
This week we have Dumont, so it's our first division opponent. And then next week we just picked up a game against Kittatinny. So we've been traveling a lot. So we're not going to play home until about November 6th. But
you haven't had a home game yet.
We haven't had a home game yet. We had a game scrimmage against Passaic Valley. That's about the only time we were at home. So it's been we won't get a home game until we play Verona on November 6th. So we'll be away for the first 4 games, and then finally we'll be home for Verona, and then who knows with the crossovers what happens.
So for the guys, for the 2 players, are your parents behaving when they come to the games?
Oh yeah, they're behaving. They come down to the field on time. They cheer us on. They're really doing an awesome job, because it's tough on them too. They don't know what to expect. The senior parents trying to set everything up and everything. Senior night got pushed back like 3 times already. So I give a lot of credit to the parents this year.
And what about on your side? You've got athletes on both ends of your family. Your mom was a great athlete at Mawa too.
Yeah, if my parents weren't able to go to games, thank God they are. It'd probably be a riot, some fires in the streets. I don't know, but I'm happy they're gone. I'm very happy.
Just to put this in perspective, I do want to go over the Ramsey football timeline. You were allowed to start summer recess workouts on July 13th. You started that first day. By the end of the week, you were shut down because of a concern over a non-Ramsey football player being in contact with someone from the program. So you had to sit for a couple of weeks. You come back and practice for several days. Then we have the state-mandated 2-week hiatus. And then again, I believe your opener was against Westwood. They had to shut it down. Then you tried to get Mawa. That didn't work out. And then in week 2, you had to shut it down while you had a game scheduled against Lakeland. Is that about right?
Yeah, you're right on, Greg.
Now, for us, it's been a challenge trying to find out whose games are on, whose games are off, whose games are being rescheduled. From a coach and from a player perspective, what's going through your mind when you see another program having to shut it down for a week or 2? How does that impact you as a coach, even if you're not going to have them on your schedule?
I mean, it's concerning, for obviously that school, but for our kids, it's kind of like, all right, well, now we got to get on the phone, we got to make phone calls, we got to see who's around. I check the schedules, Gridiron Sports, or Gridiron New Jersey, our master schedule with our super conference, and you try to match things up and see who's kind of comes like a game, kind of like a puzzle, really. It's just trying to fit a jigsaw puzzle in and see who's available and who's not, and you get on the phone, and then you have district concerns. Some districts aren't going to travel. They're just not going to do it. Which I totally get it, and it's been hard. But again, our administration has been doing a great job getting us games. If we have to travel, then we'll travel. These kids, they deserve it. They rather travel than not play at all. So as far as that goes.
And Connor and Will, what has it been like for you guys as you look? I mean, usually maybe you're reading previews leading into that weekend's games, or you're trying to find scores. What is the impact from a player's perspective when you find out that another game has been shut down, or a school has been shut down for a couple of weeks? What's going through the player's minds? So start with you, Will.
Well, as a player, it's just when you see another school get shut down, it just stinks for everybody. You don't want to see any school lose time on games or anything. So when you're trying to find scores and stuff, I mean, no scores really matter this year. You're just trying to line up and beat the other team straight up.
Connor, same question.
Yeah, we've been in that boat. It sucks. But for us, I think it's good. We could get a better team, better schedule. I just want to play the best teams with the most games this year. So it all works out eventually.
Okay, so Adam, I have a question for you as far as schedules go. Because of this year, the Thanksgiving football game is back on the possible list. One of my favorite games that I covered when I was covering football multiple times over the years was Ramsey Mawa. Are we going to get that this year?
We're working on it. So far, I mean, that's what the our schedule doesn't say, but that's, I think, both athletic directors, both schools have agreed to it. We're trying to actually work on playing them in the crossover weeks. Just
Okay.
I mean, the more you
Make
wait,
sure you get it in.
just to get it in, and but again, if we got to do that, we'll do that. Just to get our league games in, and then I mean, my athletic director, Kevin Sabella, just texted me and says, "Hey, what do you think about Waldwick maybe for Thanksgiving?" And he's working on, again, he's just constantly working on getting a full schedule for these kids. So again, we'll play anybody just to play, just to get out there and play football, and give these kids the one last memorable experience, because football is obviously some kids might be lacrosse first. I tell these kids all the time, you might be a lacrosse player first, you might be a baseball player first, you might be a basketball player first, but the football is very unique. You don't get to play this game for a long time, unless you go to college. But it's not like a sport. You can just go into summertime and join a club and play travel, this, travel that, and club this. It's a small window they have left, and it's just to get them to play one last time, a couple more games would be great.
Well, let me ask you this, though, guys, to the players. You're 2-0, okay? There's not going to be a state sectional championship of a traditional level. There's not going to be, some of the things that usually we have. But you're undefeated, so that's still out there. That's a possibility. How memorable would it be if you could go through this kind of a year and maybe not go undefeated, but have one of the better records that a Ramsey team has had in recent years? Would that make it even more special, Connor?
That would make it awesome. But I think this year we're really just a stepping stone for the years to come. I think we're going to have a dynasty soon at this school. And if we see in 3 years that the school got a state championship, I think we did a great job then. I think we started it. We helped them get it. And that's all I'm looking for.
Will, what about you? What's your thought?
Well, it's Connor really nailed it on the head there. Just being able to come out here and play. We're going week by week now, so we're not looking towards the end of the season. We're worrying about Friday and Saturday. So being able to come out here and be 2-0 right now is awesome, but we're just worrying about who's in front of us next week.
To Will and Connor, what kind of sacrifices have you had to make off the field in order to, as I said at the beginning of the show, stay safe and stay on the field in the face of COVID-19? Connor, we'll start with you first.
So as a team, we've all decided that if you're not on the team, you can't really hang out with people who aren't. So we've done a really good job. Everyone's bought in with it. Everyone's sticking with what we've said. And it's been hard, but I'd rather have a football season than not. So that's good.
Will?
Yeah, same thing. Everyone really just wants a season. Everyone's going to have to make sacrifices. So, I mean, we'll hang out as a team together, but other than that, we're keeping it close to each other.
And Adam, what kind of an emphasis have you put on them? Again, for me personally, I've been to one birthday party in the last 6 months, and that's pretty much been it. What sacrifices have you made, and what have you asked the kids to do in order to stay safe and stay on the field?
I mean, the same thing. Just if you're going to hang out with each other. Don't try to mingle in with any town, any other towns or any kids from other towns, or even at the school. It's kind of like we have to just make sure that we do what we're supposed to do. That's the only thing we can control. We can control, what we do. If we stay the course and do what we got to do, then that's all we can control. We'll be playing football. Well, in that case, I mean that's pretty much it.
Now, have you guys missed out at all, or has it created a different tradition? I'm assuming since you haven't had any home games, no cheerleaders, no marching band. Do you miss that at all? How do you adjust to not having that? Is there something you do instead that takes the place of that kind of pageantry and pomp? Let me start with Adam. Let me ask you first.
Well, I mean, that's probably a better question for the kids. I mean, I don't,
Right.
to me, it's, we try to focus on the football game, and, you hear the band, you hear the cheerleaders in the background, and, it's part of the tradition of a football game. That's a big part. But again, we can just get on the field and play, and that's probably the most important thing right now for these kids.
Guys, let's start with Will this time. I mean, do you now get to listen to your own music on the bus instead of having to worry about listening to the marching band doing what they're doing?
Well, yeah, no marching band this year. The big thing's no one in the stands. So you don't see all your buddies up in the stands. But the biggest part is just being able to get out on the field and play. So we'll take whatever risk we need to take to get out on the field.
And Connor, have you established any new traditions that have become a part of the team that wouldn't have been there except for what we've talked about tonight? Anything new going forward with this Ramsey team when you guys graduate?
The new tradition is really just winning. Coach has told us as soon as he came in, he met us, we're going to win. We've been doing it. We've been winning at practice. We've been getting better every single day. It's the only thing that really matters.
I'll start with the players. What lessons, if any, have you learned through this experience the last 6 months and then through the first 2 games that you've been able to play? Will, we'll start with you.
The big thing is you just got to go with the flow. I mean, it's cliche, but I mean, whatever happens, you just got to keep your head on straight, know that there's nothing you can really do except keep your teammates, keep yourself safe. So just being able to get out there and play whoever you're going to play, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, that's really it.
Connor?
A big lesson really is just being a tough guy. It doesn't matter who's in front of you, who's behind you. You're just going to win. You're going to beat them up. Just being a tough guy.
Sounds like a lineman to me.
Paul, do you have any final questions?
Yeah, Adam, one question for you. Assuming that we get back to some sort of normalcy, we get a vaccine, we get better therapeutics for next year, and you have a regular football schedule, what are you going to take from the experience that you've had and your kids have had this year beyond the usual football lessons?
These the senior class. I some of the kids were speaking about it before, but these kids have been just tremendous leaders since March, since I met them, since the day I met them. They've been just awesome. They're just taking care of the young guys, and just a resilient group of kids. And I'm going to be talking about this group for a very long time. This is we're in historic times. So I know down the road in 10, 15, 20 years, I'm going to be talking about these times right now, and how these kids were they paid the ultimate sacrifice. Not the ultimate, but they're cut short with a spring season, with a fall possible state playoff type of deal, and they've been through a lot, and adversity teaches you more than anything, life lessons, and these kids are going through every hurdle possible that's being thrown at them, and they're just punching it right in the mouth, and they're moving on and taking it day by day, and and they're going to be great young men. They're going to be great fathers, great husbands. They're learning it all right now during these times, and they're going to benefit from them down the road. And again, I'll be talking about these kids for a very long time.
All right. Well, that about covers it. I'd like to thank my guests again, Ramsey coach Adam Baeira, seniors Connor Vatcher and Will Cheyne, and of course my co-host. He's a kid who's been doing it even longer than I have, Paul Schwartz. This has been Varsity Aces Live. Thank you so very much. Stay strong, New Jersey, and stay on the field.